WikiLeaks already facing a criminal probe from Interpol, but many lawmakers are calling on Attorney General Eric Holder to go after the site and its founder, Julian Assange, as well, as punishment for the site releasing thousands of damaging documents of State Department information. One of those calling for action is Congresswoman Candice Miller, and she joins us live this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Dave.
Congressman, how do we shut down WikiLeaks? As my colleague points out, doesn't that make us essentially China regulating the internet, regulating free speech?
You know, this debate cannot be an intellectual exercise about the First Amendment, which we all believe in. But I do not believe that the freedom for First Amendment rights, free speech, really was designed to protect an Australian who is an accused rapist whose goal is to destroy America. I think the president currently, under the existing law, under the Espionage Act, has every authority to shut WikiLeaks down, and I think we need to do that. This is a guy who talks about transparency, and yet there is no transparency about who is funding WikiLeaks. We're not talking about this yet, but Assange apparently has two 501c3s, so he is hiding behind the American tax code. But yet, who is funding WikiLeaks when you see that all of these releases are principally advantaging Al-Qaeda and Iran? Connect the dots.
Yeah, Senators Lieberman, Feinstein, and Bond all agreeing with you, proposing some legislation that would, in effect, shut down WikiLeaks. However, Congressman Ron Paul, often in the conversation for president, he is defending WikiLeaks, saying this.
In a free society, we're supposed to know the truth. In a society where truth becomes treason, then we're in big trouble. And now people who are revealing the truth are getting into trouble for it. This is media, isn't it? I mean, why don't we prosecute the New York Times or anybody that releases this?
How do you respond to the suggestion that they are just exposing the truth here?
This is not media. WikiLeaks is not like the New York Times. The New York Times, Dave, is a publicly traded organization. It's very apparent where their financing comes from. That is not the case with WikiLeaks, and I am in total agreement about passing legislation. If I think the Obama administration has the tools that they need under the current Espionage Act to shut down WikiLeaks. However, if they are hesitant about it, or if they think there is some First Amendment thing here, they've known about this since the summer months. Why haven't they come to Congress and asked us for legislation, for modern-day tools, to be able to address a modern-day enemy who is utilizing today's technology to attack America? You can see what the goal of WikiLeaks is, Dave. Their next big release, apparently, is going to be about a very major American bank.
Yeah. Why
do they want to do that? To attack and destroy the American economy.
And WikiLeaks, I should point out, is very different from the New York Times. The Times is not putting in these names that could endanger lives. But I want to ask you lastly, one thing missing from this whole debate is any statement whatsoever from the president on WikiLeaks. Are you calling for him to get involved in this debate and make some sort of statement against WikiLeaks?
Absolutely. I find it very distressing that the president has been essentially silent on this issue. Although, you know, I'm coming to you live from Detroit. About a year ago at this time, we had the Christmas Day bomber coming in on a Northwest flight that could have blown up and killed hundreds of Americans. And the president didn't address that issue for days, until days afterwards. So this is something that happens with President Obama. It's beyond me. I don't know why he wouldn't address this. This is, I believe, and I don't think I'm over-exaggerating or overreacting, I believe this is an attack on America. And I think the president, as commander-in-chief, needs to be out there strongly condemning this and looking for the tools to be able to fight back.
Got it. Congressman Miller, thanks so much for being with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coming up, a new PSA.